Direct trade is a buying model where the purchase of coffee is made directly from the farmer with no intermediary. We've been doing direct trade here at Alchemy Coffee for about 6 years, and currently 70% of all the coffee we buy is direct trade. It's something that we've always wanted to do since we started in the coffee industry back in 2004. We've always wanted to do direct trade. There are ethical reasons. You know, you want the money for your coffee to go to the farmers. You want them to get more of it. You want them not to be exploited. You want to build on relationships with people, and you want to be involved in the product as much as you can, and that means being involved with the people who produce it. So what we did is we went out to Guatemala, and as part of the judging team for the 2012 Cup of Excellence. So I went out as an observer, which meant that I was able to cup everything that the judges cupped, but my scores weren't allocated to the final score. But I got to sit at every table, I got to be involved in every conversation, and it was a fantastic opportunity because I was able to visit mills, I was able to visit farms, I was able to have conversations with farmers. They had a thing called the Producers Round Table, and that was like a speed dating for coffee farmers. So Guatemala's broken up into a series of regions, and they had a table for each region, and they split the buyers, the roasters, into groups, and we sat at each table with the translator, and we spoke to the farmers from that region and said, you know, what do you want from a buyer? What do we want from a producer? And you have a conversation and you exchange business cards, and then you move on to the next table. And it was probably the most useful part of the whole thing, was just having an opportunity to talk to producers. Because then you can talk to each other afterwards, you can Skype and you can email. And it took away a lot of the fear of direct trade, because it wasn't now buying from a mysterious place with mysterious people. It was just buying from people I'd already met. We're a small company. We would love to be able to go into deepest, darkest coffee country and find a tiny little farmer that has a tiny little piece of land that produces 2 bags of coffee a year, and be able to direct trade with that farmer. But we're not quite there yet, because we financially can't undertake that risk of it all going wrong. And the more, there isn't really a better word for it, but the more unsophisticated in business the other side is, the more risk there is. So we tend to work with some slightly bigger farms that have reputations, that have histories, so that we have minimised that risk slightly, because we're dealing with someone on the same sort of sophistication level as ourselves, which is not that sophisticated, but a little bit above the minimum. And that means that we build up a relationship with someone where we both feel that that person's got some skin in the game. Speaking to the farmers in Brazil, speaking to the farmers in Guatemala and El Salvador, they are high quality coffee farmers who grow coffee at reasonably high elevation. So these are coffees that are fine, they're slow maturing, and they're generally quite low volume. So they can't sell at the sea market commodity price. They can't really even survive at the fair trade price, because the fair trade price is set for a bigger, lower quality, lower elevation, mass-produced coffee. These guys are using more fertilizer, they're using more intense labour, they're on high elevations where the coffee doesn't mature anywhere near as quickly or in anywhere near as high a volume. So their costs per hectare are higher. So what we do is we cup the coffee, we taste the coffee, and we agree a price between us and the farmer based on the quality of the coffee. The ideal scenario is to be dealing with someone for many, many years. So in Guatemala, we've been buying from San Sebastian, from Edgar and Estuardo for, I think this is our 6th or 7th year. I see no reason for that not to continue. From Lucia in Las Mercedes in El Salvador, this will be the 3rd year, I think, that we've bought from her. Ideally, we want that to go into decades. We want to be buying for a very long time. It gives them the security of knowing that a portion of their crop is already sold. It gives us the security of knowing that we have a supply of a coffee that we love. But what it also gives us is an iterative ability to influence the coffee for our benefit and for theirs as well. So, for example, we did an experiment with Lucia this year. We asked her if she would do a natural processed coffee, where it's dried in the cherry rather than having the cherry removed, like in a washed process. This is something that Lucia has not done before, but she was willing to do it for us because we have a relationship that she knows that we're going to buy the coffee, good or bad. We agree that we will buy the coffee because we've asked for the experiment, and that means she's prepared to do it. And it tasted fantastic, and next year we want to buy more. So Alchemy has 3 rules for direct trade. Rule 1, you physically have to go to the farm every season and see the production. Rule 2, you have to pay the farmer directly with no intermediaries. And rule 3, and this is the different one, you have to sit and have a meal with the farmer and talk about something that's not coffee. That way it becomes a human interaction and not a transaction.